Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and I've got my mocha. I'm like a mocha drinking fool, just like some of my viewers out there. I love this stuff and it's so nice on a hot day. Except this one, I don't have the Cool Whip and the chocolate sauce. Just the drink. We have to have a chat, friends. We have been busier. I mean, we've been nuts. We've been so busy. And we've had a lot of things go on the last 2 weeks. For starters, we hit 100,000. We hit 100,000. Little old me has 100,000 subscribers. I owe it all to you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and sticking with me. This is amazing. I have been on YouTube, for those of you who don't know, I've been on YouTube since 2016. Okay, now I did it full time for the first year. And then my mother was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. And for the next 5 years after that, we fought her cancer. I took care of my mother. I was side by side with her. Yes, there was a period of time during that 5 years that she kind of like had what she told me was an all clear. So, but my mother passed in 2022. God rest her soul. I miss her every day. I don't care how old you are. If you lose a parent, you almost feel like an orphan. At least I did. I lost both of my parents inside of 3 years. And that was awful. But anyway, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So it was after my mother passed away, I dove back into my YouTube full time. And this is where I've gotten. It just exploded. And I thank you all. I thank you all for supporting me. I thank you all for the gifts you've given me, for the cards, for the inspiration, for the good feedback, even the criticism, what would you call it? Constructive criticism. I love it all. It's fine. And I know I can't please everybody. And I don't try to please everybody. And if somebody doesn't like something, that's okay. You don't have to. And if they love something, that's beautiful. But anyway, I made it. 100,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. We are going to do a giveaway, friends. And I will explain that giveaway in another video. So I don't know if it'll be a live video. I'm not sure. But I got to figure out how to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away Amazon gift cards for my appreciation. But I just got to figure out, Mr. Wayna and I are going to work on putting all that together. The other thing is, so we surpassed 100,000. I'm so excited, you know. And then with that, we brought on board Liz to help me do my editing, because I'm telling you, friends, I was just beside myself. I was so busy. And if you noticed, if you go back, you'll see I might have had a video every 3 or 4 days, where I like to put out a video every other day for you, you know, even if it's something small. But with the gardens and the market stand and the pizza weekends, I just couldn't do it all by myself. But unfortunately, Liz didn't work out for us. So she's no longer with us. She was a sweetheart, but it just didn't work out. And I'm back to doing it all myself again. Now, there are a couple videos that are going to be coming up that she did edit. And they're fine. I mean, they'll be, you probably won't even notice it. But after that, all these videos, I'm going to be editing my videos. I'm going to still continue to try, and I'm going to try and teach Mr. Wayna how to edit. Won't that be a riot? He said, yeah. I told him, I said, you know, you can play video games. You can edit a video. I'm going to teach you. And so we'll see how that works out. I probably won't, because he's worse than me. You're lucky if he can turn the computer on. He don't mess with them at all. So this will be a treat. Oh, I hope y'all got something to drink. So we don't have an editor anymore, and how I wished I had somebody to help me, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll get it. The other thing, what did I tell you? 100,000. I got so many things to tell you. We got robbed 2 weeks ago too. Yes, my market stand runs on the honor system. And I just had an old ice cream pail out there with a slit cut in the top of it, and it had my name and number on there for people who'd want to order anything. Well, it was fine. It was out there for 4 years. I had that same bucket for 4 years. And all of a sudden one day, the bucket's gone. But see, we regularly check that bucket because it is the honor system. We would always keep a little bit of change in there, so somebody could open it up and make change for whatever they want. Well, whoever took off with my bucket, they only got away with like $10. And I'm not going to worry about that. I was more mad about my bucket because now, people can't make their own change. We had to put a lockbox on the wall out there, and nobody can make change anymore. So I'm getting calls left and right. But most of the time we're here, so people will come up to the house, hey, I need change or whatever. But that's just sad. It was one time. And I wasn't the only one that got hit, friends. There were at least 3 or 4 others around here. One gal, 3 or 4. One gal up the road, they took a lot of her products. And she had... I think she had a lot of handmade stuff. And so it was probably the same person. And they just went around and hit everybody. That's all right. What do you do? Anyway, my friend said, that's just nuts that somebody would steal from you because they got away with $10 in my bucket. If they would have asked me, they'd had food and a little extra cash and probably what they needed, but because they had to steal it, that's all they got. That's sad. That's really sad in this day, but it happens. Last week we were trimming all our trees out on the side of our house, and we had to lift up our pear tree. Out there is so loaded with pears that the branches were just laying on the ground. And so Mr. and we went out there, we trimmed all the other trees up, and we lifted up the branches and tied them all up. It looks crazy out there, but the branches are all tied up to the tree so that they're not laying on the ground. But anyway, while we were trimming the trees, we think Mr. got bit by a brown recluse. Because this was on a Friday morning. Well, he doesn't tell me stuff like that. He won't tell me anything because I'm always telling him, get your butt in the car. You got to go to the doctor, And I'll tell you a story about that. Where were we before my phone rang? I swear, every time I get on to do a video, especially a chit chat, my phone rings. They blow my phone up. Spiders. Mr. got bit by a brown recluse. Now, he got bit last year, but it was non-necrotic. I think necrotic. Yeah, non-necrotic. It wasn't a bad bite. This year, it was a bad bite. And he figured, I'm not going to tell her because it's no big deal. It's not a bad bite. I had it last year, right? Oh, no, friends. It was necrotic. And oh, my God, was it nasty. It was just angry looking. And he showed our neighbor. And our neighbor said, you better show that to Renee. Oh no, he's not going to show me because he knows I'm going to get his rump right in the car and go to the doctor. So he waited, and it was Saturday night. He thought, well, maybe I better tell her because it's black and purple and festering and just nasty. And I took one look at that and I thought, oh my God, he's going to have a crater scar from that thing. But anyway, we got him to the doctor. They gave him 3 different antibiotics. They marked around it, so if it spread, we had to get back there. But they gave him 2 shots in each arm of antibiotic, and then they sent him home with what kind of an antibiotic was that? Doxycycline. And I'll tell you what, within 4 days, that started to lighten up. It started looking a lot better. So he goes again Monday to have him check it out, but it looks a lot better. So we had to get some spray, and our neighbor, bless his heart, our neighbor gave us a big bottle of taro spider spray, which kills black widows and brown recluse. And I thought, you know what, that's good, because we'll spray that around some of the corners, because I think he got it out from our our crabapple tree, because him and Larry were standing there, and he's like, look at that cobweb up in that tree. I couldn't see it because I can't see far away like that. And he trimmed it down. He cut it out of there. And I thought, I bet you anything that's where that spider was. And then everybody said, no, those brown recluse like to be, that's why they call them recluse. They like to be dark, dark and hiding spots. So I don't know, but he did cut a great big huge web out of the tree. Anyway, he's healing from that, and I'm glad. So these are so good, friends. Mine's all decaf. My friends love them, even though they're decaf. My friends come over, and I make them for them all the time. We had pizza day. You'll see that because I recorded it. However, there's no sound on it. It's all to music, friends, because a lot of the people that were there, they didn't want to share their conversation. And some of them were a little camera shy. They can wave at the camera, but, to talk, they're not too comfortable with that. So I just kind of put my camera off in the distance. A lot of them waved at the camera, and, it's going to be all to music, though. But you'll see how everybody interacts and how my friends just come in and out of my outdoor kitchen. Karen, my friend, was making pizzas. She's just a honey. She's like my sister. And she comes over every Saturday, and she likes to make pizzas too. So her and I made pizzas, and people come in and help themselves and stuff. It's just, I wanted you to see that because so many have asked me, we want to see your pizza day. We want to see what goes on at pizza day. So we weren't that busy yesterday. We didn't have a whole lot of people, but it was fun. And I did record it. So you'll get to see that in a couple of days. So far I told you about John's bite hitting 100,000. And we no longer have a help with editing. What else went on? We've had a busy week. We got robbed. I did tell you that. Goodness sakes, I don't get that. Of all the people, you rob from somebody who would freely give to you, It just tears me up. I'm sitting right over the other. Take a look here, friends. Remember my countertop? It was kind of a bluish. It was painted. And it was fine for a while. But if you notice, I got my board on here because I would have to roll my dough out on this board. I could not roll the dough out on this countertop or on my island because it would pick up those paint chips. I was doing that one day, and I thought, what in the heck is on my dough? And here it was paint chips from my thing. I had to throw the whole mess of dough out and redo it. And I was so angry. And I told John, I said, you know what? Just sand this down. Sand it down to the bare wood. I almost don't care what it looks like. And he put some nice polyurethane on here so I can wipe it with a wet rag and it doesn't soak in there, And now I can use this entire top to do all my dough. And I was so happy yesterday. I had pizza dough up to my elbows, and I was rolling out my dough, and I had it all stacked over there. Oh, it was nice. So we're going to have fun with this when I make dough. Now I can do more at a time. And I can roll out cinnamon rolls the whole length of this board if I want to, because I do make a lot of cinnamon rolls for my market stand too. Speaking of which, many of you are asking me how I price my stuff in my market stand, how much profit I make, which, you know, that's kind of personal. But I'm going to go through and we're going to do a tour of the market stand for those of you who are interested in doing something like that. And I'll take you through and I'll show you how I mark stuff, you know, pretty much what percentage I use. I'll show you what all I sell. Just about everything I got in there, it sells like hot bread. But I've had it for about, let's see, 4 years? 5 years. This is my 5th year with my market stand. And I didn't have the building all 5 years. It used to be just in a tent out in my front yard. Now I got the building in my front yard, and it's wonderful. But I am going to explain to everybody, because when I make my bread, they're like, well, how come, you know, you're only, like the snack mix, for example, how can you only sell it for $2 for a bag? Because everything's so expensive. Remember, I do a lot of budget shopping, friends. I buy stuff when it's on sale. And yes, I go through a lot of flour too. And I know flour and sugar, none of that's cheap. But when it's on sale, I might buy 300 or 400 pounds. I go through about a good 50 to 100 pounds of flour a week, especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's probably pretty close to 50 pounds of flour a week. And that's just selling stuff out of my market stand and making my pizzas and that. So I'm just going to do like a market stand tour, and I'm going to show everybody, you know, in detail what I got in there. Right now it's packed, chucked full. I mean, it's bulging at the seams because I've got a lot of produce in there. I've got a lot of baked stuff in there, and I'm constantly baking for it. And I'm going to show that. So we're going to do that with Mr. Wayna one of these days, and we'll answer a lot of questions with that, because those of you who want to make extra money, you know, it's really easy to do. I work completely from home, and John is retired, but he still works from home. You know, we don't go anywhere to work. We stay right home. I mean, you can make money at home. I'm a YouTube content creator. I'm a cookbook author. I sell all kinds of produce in my market stand and all kinds of baked goods out there. So I do a lot of stuff. You know, I sell my eggs from my chickens. I do a lot here at home. You can make a lot of money at home. And sometimes, I'll tell you, when you've got two people and children, sometimes it's easier for one to just start working from home and save on daycare, you know. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm over that. My kids are all raised up, and it was a nightmare because I didn't work from home when my kids were little. I had 2 and 3 jobs, and daycare was the biggest expense. I want to show you something. I've been getting little gifts and goodies and cards in the mail, friends, and I absolutely love it. Let's slide this over. I absolutely love it. I've had people give me aprons and hot pads and cards and recipes and letters, and I absolutely love it. Well, this one is new this week. I got a gal sent me a beautiful letter, and she said that my kitchen is so pretty with the blue and white, and that I needed some hot pads that would match my kitchen. So she gave me these beautiful hot pads, and look at the nice little stitching on these. These are so cute. I love these. And I got this one. I can make hot pads like this. I can crochet like crazy, but I don't have any time. And I like those. These are nice. And then this little round one. This is nice to set a pot on. And, I thought somebody was here. And this is the little prize of all. Look at this little chicken she crocheted. Isn't that about the cutest thing you ever seen? Little chicken. I love that thing. It is so cute. I'm like, oh my goodness. And my friend Sharon, she comes over and has coffee with me or a mocha. And I was asking her, I said, do you know what pattern it is? Can you crochet more of these? And she's like, oh yeah, I can crochet those. So she's going to show me, she's going to do the pattern for that so I can crochet some of them. And you're going to see her in a video. She is very, very camera shy. And she wants to show her rice pudding that she always makes. Her family loves it. And I love rice pudding. So does John. So I said, we'll do a video, Sharon. And she says, well, as long as I don't got to talk, because I'm scared of those people. I said, they're going to love you. Anyway, so we're going to do a video on that. And you'll get to meet Sharon. Tracy's been around. Tracy's doing a lot better. She had some medical issues, but she's getting back to normal now. So you might see her now and then, because she'll be back home full time here pretty soon. And the other thing is, those of you who have been with me for quite some time, I mean back from 2017 on, you might remember Miss Mo. I've talked about Miss Mo, and Miss Mo used to come and we'd do chit chats and she'd tell her stories, and she was just wonderful. Well, I didn't see Miss Mo for a while because, friends, she had a hard time. She went through a real hard time. She was my mother's best friend. So I've known Miss Mo for years. And she lost her sister, her husband, and her best friend, who was my mother, all inside of 2 months. And that was in 2022. So, that took her to her knees. And her sister lived with her. Her husband, of course, lived with her. And my mother lived right next door. So that just sent her for a loop. And she's been coming around now. And I think she's gotten herself back up on her feet. And she's ready to start doing stuff. So she's been coming and having pizza with me on Saturdays and bringing some of her family, her daughter and her grandchildren. And we've been having nice visits. But Miss Mo is going to come, friends, and we're going to do a video, and she's going to show us how she does her fermented pickles, which is going to be just divine, because I never have good luck with pickles. So I'm excited for that. So again, those of you who remember Miss Mo, she's coming back for a visit. So this will be fun. Anyway, I think I told you everything. Gosh, not much else. Just busy. The garden is almost done. I'll probably do maybe another walk around, and show you the garden. But it's pretty much done. All my squashes, I think I only have maybe a couple flowers on my niches. Maybe a couple flowers on my squash plants. And most of them are done. I got to harvest my celery. I've been picking, oh my gosh, I grew those green apple cucumbers. I picked almost a whole bushel the other day. We harvested all our onions are out on the drying rack, the drying table that Mr. built for them. We harvested all our potatoes now. Our Kennebecks are all harvested. I think we got about 70 pounds out of those. And we got a good 60 to 65 pounds of onions drying out on the table. And let's see what else. I have the celery to do. I got lots of tomatoes. I've got a few green tomatoes because I've got friends around here that love fried green tomatoes. So I always pick a couple of nice size green tomatoes and get them in the market stand. Yeah, because we got to do my stewed tomatoes. I probably won't do as many. Last year, I think we did about 120 quarts. I don't believe we're going to be doing near that much this year. So I still got a few quarts left from last year. So I'll probably only do about 25 quarts or so for us for the winter for my shelves. I picked a lot of my beets, and all I did was blanch them and get them in the freezer. I usually pickle them, but I still got a lot of pickled beets from last year, so I'm not going to pickle them this year. I did You've seen the video canning green beans. I canned some green beans. I got a bunch in the freezer because I wanted some in the freezer for those swamp potatoes. Oh my goodness, friends. Those swamp potatoes are fabulous. I don't know. When I did that video, I don't know how many of you tried those swamp potatoes, but oh my goodness, are they delightful. Mister he's just eating them. He couldn't quit eating them. Every now and then you come across a recipe like that you think, oh, it's just going to be okay. You know, I'll try it. It's probably going to be good. And it's like divine. It's like something that goes to the top of the list. But I made a bunch of the freezer. I made it into freezer meals. Remember, I showed you that. And I gave them to my friends. They all loved them. Every one of them loved them. So that's going to be something that's going to be, you know, a staple in their freezer. Anyway, we got my beef bone broth. It's in the jug right there. I got to get that canned up, finish that video. That stuff is divine, friends. I took that, I strained it last night. And, you know, you don't use any of the meat that you strain out of it. Everything, all that is spent. You can't do anything with it. I just fed that to the chickens, and we saved the little bones for Missy to chew on. But after I strained it, I let it simmer all night again so that it would reduce a little bit and concentrate. So that's really a dark amber color, and it's going to be divine. I tasted it. It's wonderful. So we got to get busy and get that finished up. But anyway, friends, I really wanted to tell you thank you so much for all your support. I hit 100,000. I'm still like beside myself with that. I think we're over 100,000. It's just so exciting, you know. And we're going to be able to do a lot of bread videos. And, you know, I'll probably do, because I do a lot of baking for my market stand. And I know there might be some videos that you're going to see that, you know, you've already seen me make that bread. But bear with me, friends, because there might be some people on there that haven't seen it yet. And sometimes I just like to bring you along with me. Because, you know, it's just real life here. So we'll be able to use this entire board. That's exciting. I'm so happy for that. I'm so glad. I wish you would have done that months ago. But I did like this island. And I also just wanted to let you know what was going on, that I am back to, we're back to on our own again with editing. So some people were happy. Some people were not happy. My channel's not changing. It's just somebody else was editing, and there was a big difference. So we're back to me editing. But just so you know, a lot of people said they don't like music in my videos. The pizza day video, friends, is going to have music. So don't slap me too hard. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day. I got to go. I got things that I got to finish up. Mister's going to be on his way home pretty soon. And I got leftover pizza dough from yesterday that I got sitting over on the counter. I'm going to make that into some focaccia bread and get that packaged up for the market stand. We'll see you when we do the market stand video too. So those of you who are interested in selling stuff, it's easy peasy. It's just tedious. It's a lot of hard work. So anyway, you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen and chatting. I will see you in the next video, friends. And as always, thanks for watching.